Hi and welcome to The Winning Factor. I'm Aitken, and on this show every week we're trying to pick out an element of a particular race that we might look back on later as having shown us the way to finding the winner. Obviously on Sunday most of the focus is on the Longines international races, and I'm sure there's plenty of form previews and guides to the likely successful horses in those races. I'm going to focus on a couple of the support races where the money's just as good if you back a winner. And the first race we're going to look at is race 3. This is a class 3 over 1800 metres, and our winning factor here, the venue. Now look down the field here, and three horses that stand out for me. Zach Purton's mount, Bigwood, a last start second at Happy Valley. Another last start second at Happy Valley, Happy Dragon, who hasn't had much luck at the smaller track. And Ho Ho Khan, a David Hall trained last start winner. Something to keep in mind in the second part of the show when we'll have a little bit more to say about last start winners. But the horse I'm going to focus on here in race 3 is Happy Dragon, trained by John Moore. Moore, obviously, one of our legendary trainers here in Hong Kong, one of our outstanding performers, but it's been notable in recent seasons that his performance at Happy Valley has been in decline. Now looking at this table of his runners here, you'll see that John ranks only 17th for wins at Happy Valley. He's had 46 of them since September 2012, and he ranks 19th for having runners there amongst the current 21 trainers. And that makes him last because two of those trainers, Frankie Law and Jimmy Ting, have only been training for a short time. So John Moore's participation rate very low at Happy Valley. By contrast, at Sha Tin, he's in the top 1 or 2 for participation and for winners. A lot of that is to do with John's focus on the higher quality races, which are almost overwhelmingly run at Sha Tin rather than Happy Valley. But there might be a secondary factor in what's been happening to Happy Dragon lately. Happy Valley is a racetrack where often trainers don't get the reward for their efforts that they should. Luck is a fortune there, and if you're out of luck at Happy Valley, then you are very unlucky indeed. And we're going to have a look at Happy Dragon's last 3 starts all around Happy Valley, where luck has completely deserted him. First of all, we're going to have a look at race 135 there. Now, Callan Murray rode Happy Dragon on this occasion, had an inside gate, and had the horse in a perfect position all the way around. That is, until things got a bit icky in the straight. As you'll see, Callan's going for a run up the inside. The doors close, the leaders drop back on him, and there's just nowhere to go. Now, race 160 at Happy Valley is even more graphic. Perhaps if you have small children in the room, you might want to shade their eyes or move them outside, because this is pretty hideous, particularly if you backed Happy Dragon. This time it's Douglas White with an inside draw, a strong pace, and Douglas rails up behind the leaders, ready to make a bid, which may indeed have been a successful bid had he got through, but that didn't happen. Again, the doors jam, up in the air he goes, and the race is all over by the time Happy Dragon can get mobile again. And finally, to his latest start there, Happy Dragon, race 197, and this time Douglas positions himself on the outside to avoid what's been happening with Happy Dragon. Only problem this time is he gets pushed right to the outside fence, out into the beer garden in fact, on the home turn. And the cruel irony of this is that while that's happening, a horse called Green Luck gets all the runs through on the inside that Happy Dragon had been looking for his previous 2 starts, and Green Luck is able to beat Happy Dragon because of that. Green Luck indeed. Now, not all horses are able to take their Happy Valley form to Sha Tin, and Happy Dragon has had one previous experience at Sha Tin when he finished well down the track at his first Hong Kong run, but he was very long odds that day. There wasn't a lot expected of him, and we can't really hang him for that at this stage. So the tip in race 3, Happy Dragon. His winning factor, the venue. He may or may not be able to bring his Happy Valley form to Sha Tin. We'll see about that, but he certainly looks like he's going to get a bit of a better crack at them anyway. The second race we're going to have a look at on Sunday is race 9. This is the Class 2 1200 metre race, and the winning factor here, the map. As I look down the field here, 4 horses really jump off the page at me as chances in the race. Fortune Booth, who's having his first run for John Moore. Goldwyn, a very talented horse from France, having his first up run here in Class 2, and that's never easy. But the two we're going to look at are two who clashed last time, New Asia Sunrise and Raging Storm. So we're quite well into the season now. The John Size machine is up and purring, and Raging Storm, with Joe Moreira aboard, who's won 4 out of 6 attempts on this 4-year-old, is going to attract a lot of punters' attention as a last start winner from the yard. But we're going to have a look now at the last start winner statistics here in Hong Kong for the different trainers. And on the left, you'll see the strike rate by percentage, where John Size stands head and shoulders above his rivals. He's well clear when it comes to strike rate. Now, that's great for trainers, but it's not all that good for punters, where we measure the trainers' success with last start winners against the market expectations. Usually, the public, the betting public, thinks that a last start winner from a top stable is likely to win again, and they're generally overbet. So the top trainers are usually in the bottom half of the expectation table. David Hall, as we pointed out earlier, has a last start winner in the third race, and he actually is the highest performing trainer with last start winners if you're a punter. So although Raging Storm looks a frontline contender here, with an eye on the betting, we might just find one to beat him here, and we're going to have a look at New Asia Sunrise. Now, specifically, we're going to have a look at the race where these two horses met last start. Race 189, which was won by Raging Storm with New Asia Sunrise in 5th. Now, we're going to see it first from the top of the straight. New Asia Sunrise is back in behind horses on the inside with a big white face. Raging Storm is down the outside in the blue, black and yellow colours, and he arrives just in time to win the race. New Asia Sunrise getting into 5th across the line. Now, unlike team sports, the first half of a horse race is intimately connected to the second half of a horse race and often contributes to what happens in that second half. So we're going to rewind race 189 and see what happened in the early part of the race and the way that things might have turned out somewhat differently here. Now, we're watching both of them come out of the gates here, and New Asia Sunrise is a much faster beginner than Raging Storm. New Asia Sunrise very reliable at the jump. Raging Storm, on the other hand, he tends to be a little bit hot and cold at the start, and Joe Moreira has to rev him up to keep his place. But what I want you to watch is Callan Murray on New Asia Sunrise. Now, he's trying to cross the horse inside him early, Alma Baby. And if he got across there, he gets in behind the leader and gets a cosy run to the home turn. But instead, he can't get around Alma Baby. He has to sit too wide behind pick number 1, a horse who pulled up lame after the race and starts to weaken out fairly quickly, fairly early, in fact, at the 600 metres. And behind him, New Asia Sunrise gets pushed back through the field, as does Raging Storm, who's behind him. But the difference happens on the point of the home turn. Callan Murray is still waiting for pick number 1 to get out of the way and find a way through on the inside, whereas Joe Moreira is able to switch around New Asia Sunrise, get into clear running on the outside and get his momentum up. Now, down the straight, a little bit of a checkered run through for New Asia Sunrise. He gets into 5th, as we saw earlier, while Raging Storm, in full cry, arrives right on the post to win the race. But, as we saw, this could have turned out very differently if New Asia Sunrise had been behind California Fortune and attacking for the lead at the 200 metres instead of looking for runs back in the field. Now, that wasn't the jockey's fault, it was just one of those things that happens in races, and there is now a 7-pound weight turnaround in favour of New Asia Sunrise as well, and he should have finished much closer to Raging Storm on that occasion. Now, if we look at the speed map for this race, the lead looks to be up for grabs, and New Asia Sunrise, he'll be his usual reliable self, out quickly on the inside. Raging Storm this time not drawn near him, he's out wide, and that could be problematical for him. And I wouldn't be surprised if Goldwyn, the new horse for Tony Cruz, makes a bid for the lead. But really, the lead is up for grabs here in what could be a slowly run race. Position is going to be important, the map is going to be very important, and I think New Asia Sunrise will be able to land on the speed and in the right spot. So the tip in race 9, New Asia Sunrise. His winning factor, the map. I think he maps perfectly here. He's going well enough to win a race. He gets that weight turnaround against Raging Storm, and his major rival could end up anywhere here from an awkward draw. So that's it for this week's winning factor. Good luck, enjoy the international races on Sunday, and we'll see you next week.